All right, here we go. I said I was going to make this video yesterday, I believe, but I was letting it play out. I've just been letting it play out. I'm seeing excuses come about an outfit was too heavy. I heard on Jay Cotto's channel that if you don't know who Jay Cotto is, his channel is the Boxing and Jedi Temple. So go check that out if you haven't checked it out before. It's been a long time since I've been on this channel. I went there, talked on it a little bit, but my phone was lagging real bad. But he had me dying laughing. This dude made a video to where he just laughed through the whole video because somebody said Wilder was poisoned. And then there's rumors that Tyson Fury had something in his mouth. Like these are dumb. It's dumb. That's not why Wilder lost. The outfit, it could be a factor if he had it on, say, 10 to 15 minutes. Like you said, that's 40 pounds. So pretty much by the time he got into the ring, he had it on for close to half a fight already. That was dumb. If it weighed that much, if he knew it was going to sap his energy, if he knew it was going to affect him, he should have never worn it. It was cool looking. I liked it. He looked like an anime Power Ranger. When it lit up, I liked it. But if it was going to inhibit your ability to fight, then you shouldn't have worn it. And that's something you should have told your team, something you should have told your wife, it's something you should have told your sparring partner. This is not something you put out in public because you know people are about to clown you over something you picked is what you're saying hurt you. But the point of this video is, can Deontay Wilder beat Tyson Fury in a third match? Highly unlikely. Highly unlikely. The thing with Deontay Wilder, he's got to change everything. Everything. He has a great trainer, but his trainer's not great for him. What I mean by that is you can be the most knowledgeable teacher in the world, but if you can't teach your students, then you're not valuable as a teacher regardless what you know. So what I mean by that is Deontay Wilder needs a coach that can make him listen. Deontay Wilder needs a coach that he respects, that can mold him. Who can do that? I don't know. He might need a guy like Teddy Atlas who's going to be 100% real and blunt with him and very forward in what he says. That's what it's going to take to get Deontay Wilder on the right path. If Deontay Wilder, because he's always had that equalizer, hit you with the right hand, knock you out, if he can't find a trainer he will listen to and he believes that he knows better than anybody, whether he wears a weighted outfit or not, the results are going to turn out to be the same. And as Tyson Fury stays 273 or possibly puts on more weight as he gets more and more comfortable with the heavier weight and knows he can go all 12 rounds at 270 plus, then he's going to be even more dangerous and even more likely to knock Wilder out. What can Wilder do, in my opinion, to improve? I'm going to assume that he has at least 6 months, although they were talking about summertime fighting again, which is even less. I think that would be foolish. I'd say in this rematch, it needs to be at least a 6-month gap. And the reason for that is a lot of people are out there talking about, oh, Wilder, he's 35 years old. He can't learn. It's too late in his career. That's not true. Anybody can learn anything at any point in time in their life unless there's something wrong with their mental capacity. If they don't have some form of brain damage or a learning disability, then they can learn. 6 months, you could take somebody who's never fought before that's athletically inclined and get them in their first fight within 6 months. You can do that from somebody who knows absolutely nothing. It only takes 6 months to train somebody to fight. So when you already have a guy who's been in multiple fights, 44 fights now, I believe, professional and had amateur background, he can absorb a lot in a 6-month time frame. But from the ground up, Deontay Wilder has got to be changed. He cannot rely on his right hand landing. And as I say, he can learn. It's going to be hard to teach him because when he was fighting Fury, I saw a lot of things that Fury was doing that Wilder couldn't pick up on, and he kept falling into the same mistakes. I'll give you an example for the people who want to go back and watch the fight. There was a lot of times that Fury was blocking Deontay Wilder's straight right, just by keeping his left arm up in the air. So Wilder couldn't loop around and hit him or come. He was just here. He was keeping his shoulder high, arm high. Kind of like what I said he needed to do, because you never see Wilder throw uppercuts. And it's funny that Fury kept his arm up high because you didn't have to worry about the threat of the uppercut. And because of that, a lot of times Wilder was catching him on the top of the shoulder or the delt, whatever you want to call it, or he was hitting his biceps and just sliding past his head. And when you have a guy doing that, I don't know if this has ever happened to anybody, but if you have your hand up high and somebody nails you in your armpit, it hurts bad. What Wilder should have been doing is, when Fury started raising like this, all this, let me stand up. Let me stand up for this and get the chair out the way so I can show, which I haven't been doing, showing in a long time. When you raise your hand up here, right, yes, you can lean away from the punch and all this is protected. Let me put down, all that's protected. You're not getting hit. But what you do is you open up all of this. So whether it's here or higher, really this was about the height that Fury was blocking at, just stiffening his hand out, keeping his mid like this to catch parries or whatever, and watching here. Wilder kept making the same mistake and throwing his fist over here. What he should have done is gone lower. Come high like you're going to go high and shift your body weight down to hit all this real estate. You can hit him in a floater rib. You could hit him in the armpit. All this becomes open. And truth be told, it's illegal, but when Fury turned his body to block that, it opens up the kidneys. And again, like I said, if you turn your back, your head, your whatever, illegal punch becomes legal because you're turning into it. So there's certain tricks that it's cheating. Some people will argue tricks, cheating, whatever you want to call it. There's certain things Wilder could have adapted to had he been a more technical fighter to negate some of the things that Fury was doing. Again, Wilder kept trying to fight going backwards, and when he would come forward, he would telegraph it because he's always cocked here, and he starts skipping along, and then he throws, which gave Tyson Fury time to go back and put that arm up to slide that hand off. So there were a lot of mistakes that Wilder didn't change the way he fought. Now, was it because he was tired? I highly doubt it, because even being tired, you can switch up your tactics. Tactically, he couldn't adapt, which again is what made Mayweather so great, because no matter who he fought, what they did, he analyzed, broke down, and did it. Number two, people want to argue with me. Deontay Wilder is too small. I want to tread this carefully. I don't mean too small in the aspect of, really, he looked like a child next to Fury at 230 and Fury being 273. But at the same time, I don't want Wilder getting too heavy because he relies on speed. So a big issue with Wilder is all his weight is upper body. Lower body, which he said his legs got weak, and they can. If you put on weight up high and you don't put on weight down low, then that can sap your legs because they're now holding more weight and you didn't put the same mass that you did up top that you did down low. So he really needs to work on his leg strength. His legs are so small that on his legs alone, he could put up to 10 to 20 pounds and it wouldn't change anything. Like he could have kept a 215 frame up top and just gained 20 pounds in the legs and it would have affected him zero. Wilder has got to work on his leg strength. Now, what leg strength will do too is when somebody gets on top of you, it'll give you the ability to deadlift them off of you, the ability to straighten them up, which is going to bring me to another point. This is something that boxers don't do. No boxer does. When I boxed, I never did it. But against Tyson Fury, knowing the type of tactics that he's going to use on you, I feel like this would be very good for Deontay Wilder. What Deontay Wilder needs to do is, at the end of every boxing section he has, He needs to take, first you start off slow, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. But he needs to get to where at the end of his training regimen, he can spend anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour wrestling with somebody in that ring. What I mean by that is not UFC style where you're driving people to the ground, trying to pick them up, slam them. He needs to go chest to chest with somebody bigger than him, because getting somebody smaller, lighter, or weaker isn't going to help him. He needs to have a bigger body, leaning on him, weighing on him, so he can get strong enough to manipulate that body and get it off of him and keep him from just weighing him down and manhandling him. See, the thing is, if you're not going to be big, you need to be strong. 230 pounds on a 6'7" frame is little, but it's still 230 pounds, okay? So 230 pounds has more than enough ability to put on strength to move around 273. You just have to work on your strength, and that's something that Wilder is really going to have to do. He needs to fire his strength and conditioning coaches. He needs to go find him some guys who know how to get strong. Problem is, a lot of guys, he needs to find a guy who knows how to get strong without taking steroids. That's what he needs to do, because they're tested. So he needs to go find him somebody who knows how to make somebody strong. Not stronger, but strong. That's the first thing he needs to do. He needs strength, because as y'all saw, a lot of this fight is going to be fought in the clinch. Number two, not only does being stronger keep a guy from being able to manhandle you when they hold you, it also gives you the ability to push them off of you, create separation. I don't know if y'all picked it up, but this is an illegal thing too. In boxing, you can't use your glove and push somebody's face away and then hit them. Fury did that a lot. Let me do a real hit and not miss my hand. But Fury actually pushed his head away and hit him. Now, technically, it is cheating, but it's a trick that a lot of boxers do. So you need that upper body strength and leg strength to be able to push a man off of you that's going to get chest to chest with you. You need to be able to do that. So a big part of his training regimen against Fury, especially Fury, how Fury's going to do it, he needs to wrestle chest to chest with somebody bigger and stronger than him. I don't care if he gets a WWE guy or an Olympic wrestler. He could go to somebody like Daniel. Well, I don't think that would do him. He needs somebody tall. He needs somebody tall, big, and strong, because a lower center of gravity is not what he needs to get used to, being the lower center of gravity when it comes to wrestling. So somebody taller, shorter wouldn't do any good. So he needs to find a big guy, maybe like the Mountain, a power lifter, somebody strong that he's not going to box with. He's just going to work in the clinch with, so he can get, because what people don't realize is there's a lot of stabilizer muscles. There's a lot of tendon strength, ligament strength going on that people don't really work on. That's why when my chest was so strong in bench pressing, I was literally, at the time I was 180 pounds, I was raw pressing, not arched back like you see people looking like McDonald's, laying flat on the bench, hitting 405 off of me, because I work on stabilizers by doing negatives. Hold the weight, heavy weight, as long as you can till the weight comes all the way down. Then you have your partner deadlifted off of you. You need somebody stronger. You're going to die. And then hold it as long as you can. And you're going to keep doing it till pretty much you're here and the weight comes here. And then they just pull it off of you. And that's your chest set. But what that does is it works on stabilizer muscles. It's just like when you get on a pull-up bar and hold yourself at the top as long as you can. You're working on stabilizer muscles. Those are also very important when it comes to strength, especially when you're doing wrestling. So you're building endurance and strength with that endurance so you don't get tired. And you can manipulate and move now that you're getting stronger. So again, I must stress, he needs to go with a little bit of a different tactic than just pure boxing. Now, when it comes to boxing, getting away from him building strength, getting away from him building the ability to wrestle, he has got to learn how to box. The thing is, when it comes to fighting, yes, a hard punch hurts because it's a hard punch. But here's something that people don't realize that have never been hit. If I come at you, right, and you are used to being hit, and I'm whop, 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 whop. If everything I'm hitting you with is hard, right, it actually does not hurt as bad as if I come in there and go tap, 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 whop, tap, 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 whop. The thing is, when you're tapping and then you come with all that power, it shocks the body because it's not ready for it. The body gets used to light touches. So when you hit them with that power, it's unexpected. Now they're jarred. In the same aspect, and when you come whop, 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 it might hurt because everything you're throwing is with power, but the person you're hitting is slowly getting used to it. Like a prime example of that is Marquez Pacquiao won. Marquez got floored multiple times because Pacquiao just came with them hands. Whop, 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 whop. Everything he was throwing was hard. But what ended up happening towards the stretch of that fight, Marquez got used to the power, stopped going down to the ground, and in my opinion, actually won the fight. So you can't just throw nothing but power. You've got to set power up. Power feels more powerful when you're just tapping in front of it. When you're throwing feints and then bow. Throwing feints, soft, soft, soft. Trick somebody's mind like, oh, this don't hurt, and then bow. That's how you hurt somebody. So Wilder's got to learn touch. Touch is very important when it comes to boxing. He also has got to learn how to fight off the back foot, especially if he's not going to be willing to be the aggressor, or if he's not strong enough to go chest to chest and back Fury up. Which in this second fight, he wasn't strong enough to back Fury up. Fury was just too big, too much mass, moved him back, kept him moving backwards. So if you know you're going to have to fight off the back foot, you got to learn how to fight off the back foot. What that means is, so fighting off the back foot is different than fighting off the front foot. Even in this fight, when you saw Wilder backing up, when he made his attacks, he would still try to skip and come forward. That's not fighting off the back foot. Fighting off the back foot is if I'm backing up, right? I've got the guy coming forward. I'm baiting him in. Then I'm planning and throwing. I'm backing up, but all of a sudden I stop attack, and then I back up. He's also got to learn how to move out of the pocket. He's got to use angles. So the thing is, if this chair is my opponent, right, and it's coming towards me, this is Tyson Fury right here, right? So I'm here, right? This chair is coming towards me. If I'm backing up, I'm here. It's still the same space. Eventually, I can't go nowhere because it's got me against the ropes and it's keeping me here. But what you can do to create space, if the ropes were right behind me, right, you can slip. And when you slip, you step around. When you step around, you hit, you move, you keep circling. Now, as you see, I'm just as close to the chair as I was here with the ropes. Imagining they're behind me. Imagine that's all open space. But whenever I step around, slip and hit, now I have all this real estate I can move to. It's got to turn towards me. The spacing up close is still the same, but if I have to, I can back out now. If I have to, I can turn, and I have nothing but space. He's got to learn how to create space when there's very little space. And you do that by learning how to slip and move around punches. With that, to create opportunities up close, again, I have to come back to, you have to throw light punches in there. You cannot commit to everything you throw. You have to have in your mind that all you're trying to do is disrupt what they're doing. Okay, if you're disrupting them, they cannot implement their plan. So you're trying to disrupt it. Just tap, 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 feint, tap, tap, feint, and then hurt them. All right? What I was talking about Wilder needed to work on was hooks when Fury would get close. Because a hook is a very good counter to when somebody's coming to grab. You don't have to hook to the head. Not everything has to come here. You can come low and hit low. Wilder did do a good job at jabbing and throwing the straight to the body early in, like, say, the first and second round, but Tyson just kind of walked through it. So, and part of that is, too, is, again, like I said, he kept backing up. He didn't know how to plant his feet, then attack. He would telegraph everything he was doing. So creating space for Wilder is very important in this next fight. I would say it is more important than just counter punching, because when you learn to slip, you can see the counter shots, right? So back to my Tyson Fury chair, okay? So if this was coming at me, right, and I come under, now I'm here, right? I've got the side of the face here, his shoulders are here, so I'm inside his guard, so I could throw a little, come underneath, slip the straight. While I'm slipping, I can throw the left hook. I can slip under. I have him, now he's in front of me. I'm no longer here in front of him. I'm under, I can hit, or whenever I'm under, I can touch and get out. That's what I mean. Like, he's got to learn how to fight in the pocket. He is the shorter man. He is not the bigger man. He is not the longer man. So he's got to learn, and he's the smaller man. And from the looks of it, the much weaker man. So he's got to learn how to break Fury down. It's like he's got to be that chisel going to that mountain. He's just got to break him down and try to take as little damage as possible. As far as hand speed goes, even when Wilder was hurt, even when he was tired, there was multiple times, 4th round, 5th round, that they were connecting jabs at the same time. Like when Fury would throw a jab, Wilder would throw a jab, and they would hit each other in the face at the same time. But we all saw that Fury's punches were doing a hell of a lot more damage when they both connected at the same time, because Fury would just look at him and Wilder would back up. So that's another thing. You know you're the faster fighter because he has to be faster to be tired and be able to connect punches at the same time. He's also got to work on his guard. Not always can you slip or get out the way. Sometimes you can step in and block, or if you don't want to attack, you've got to parry. He needs to learn how to grab arms and push him out of position so that he can either get away or he can parry a shot, get him open, and then throw a quick one down the pipe, knock the head back, reset, or get out. Basically what I'm saying is every time Wilder hits Fury and connects, now that you know Fury can knock him out, Fury can hurt him, he needs to tap, tap, move out. He needs to circle. Another mistake he was making was when he was fighting Fury, he circles to Fury's right. Now, you never want to circle to somebody's power side. And you can push somebody to circle to yours, and it sounds counterintuitive because you're almost like dancing. If they're both traditional, then they're turning to each other's power. Well, that's not really true. What I mean by that is, this is how it looks, right? I'm here, I'm trying to get the chair to go this way, right? We're circling each other. So technically, I'm walking into the right hand, it's walking into my right hand. But that's not true. What you can do, and Fury was doing this, is you're here, right? You're throwing your jab. Your jab is just setting up your straight, your hook. It's setting up your back leg, your power. So you can make this, while you're moving here, you can make this move laterally. So I'm pushing it, right? I'm still, look at this, okay? Think about it like this. If I'm hitting the chair here, right? I'm trying to get him to do this. I'm trying to get the chair to go this way. So now the chair is actually moving away. Even though I'm here, say circling towards the power, I'm getting the chair to actually move away. So now that the chair is moving away, it can't throw back like that because it's actually moving this way. So while I'm circling it to my power, I'm actually pushing myself away from his power, and he's coming right there. Boom, boom, right there. So he's got to learn how to jab somebody to where you want them to go while circling, staying out of the damage, because he was walking into Fury's right hand multiple times in that fight, which Fury was doing great. Fury was doing, just like I said, pushing him to where he wanted to go, coming, bow, straight down the pipe, catching Wilder to where Wilder was moving. So there's a lot of things that Wilder has to work on, and I believe he can do it, but he needs, and I'm all about loyalty, but at some point in time, people can only take you so far. JD, he needs to get rid of him. I don't even need to talk about it. We all know about the towel. We all know that People are going to get fired over it. Wilder needs to fire everybody. Because no matter how good your coach is, again, if they cannot get through to you to make you listen, to make you learn new things, then you need to do new things. Look at Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury saw that the way he fought in the first fight didn't work, so he let his friend go so he could go to another trainer that he felt would teach him what he needed to be taught. And that's what happened. Deontay Wilder, and if you want to be loyal, you can always keep people in the background, keep them on the payroll if you want to, leave them there, but you've got to look out for your own best interest. If somebody cannot take you past a certain point, then you've got to look for somebody who can. What you did was working, but once you get to a certain level, you can't just rely on one punch. Because if that one punch doesn't hurt them, then what are you left with? In this fight, he couldn't hurt Fury. What was he left with? Nothing. When you erase the equalizer, then he has nothing left to equalize with. So, again, he's got to pick up a trainer that can get through to him, make him listen. And it doesn't even have to be a known coach. Ben Davison wasn't a known coach. It could be somebody who's knowledgeable about fighting that maybe can mash good with them. He could reach out to another fighter who fights the way I'm saying and try to get them to help him. But he's got to look elsewhere because what he's doing does not work. So again, to recap, because I can make this go 8 hours long, what I think Wilder needs to do is first, Wilder is already built small, which is fine, but he needs to work on his legs and he needs to work on his strength. If you're going to be small, be strong. Work on your strength, work on your power. And the stronger he gets will be the harder he can hit. Don't gain weight to where it's going to get you tired or slow you down when you're a knockout artist like Wilder is. You need to keep your speed. You also, to keep your speed, need to be doing stuff like sprints, plyometrics. You need to be doing quick burst exercises when you're training. So that's first off. Strength training. Try to get some weight on them legs so you don't get weighed down. Get somebody in there to wrestle with you nonstop. Somebody who's trying to push your head down. Somebody who's trying to come over the top of you and keep you down. When you get to the point to where you can say keep a guy bigger than Fury down, say a 300-pound guy, 320-pound guy, a guy stronger than Fury, when you can keep that guy from putting you down, and I'm not saying that Wilder has to become stronger than him, but when he becomes equal and that guy can't do nothing to Wilder, then when he gets in there against Fury and Fury tries the roughhouse stuff, it will be ineffective because he's been training for that. He's ready for it. When they go chest to chest, Wilder's not going to be pushing Fury down. Wilder's not going to be spinning Fury around. So that is very important. Again, that's not so much boxing as just in general what he needs to do for his body to be successful in the next fight, knowing how Fury's going to come at him. 2, he needs to learn how to create space. That is very important because when you're used to coming forward, if you run out of space, you can't attack. So you've got to get good at close quarter combat. And not saying he has to sit in the pocket and be a good pocket fighter, but what I mean is he's got to be good enough at close quarters to where he can slip, hit, get out, got that space. Now if he sees the opening, he has the room to build up the momentum to attack and so on. A good example of creating space, look to Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather. When Manny Pacquiao kept with constant pressure coming forward, he kept running into check hooks all night, and all Mayweather was doing was hitting him and spinning out. Now, Pacquiao's against the ropes. Mayweather's got the entire ring to move back with. That's what I mean by creating space. He's got to do stuff like that. Lastly, he has got to learn not just combos, but he needs to learn touch. He's got to learn how to go soft, hard, soft. He's got to switch up his punching power to confuse Fury. He needs to learn how to throw feints with it because that is what's going to hurt Fury the most. When Fury doesn't know when it's going to be hard, when it's going to be soft, when it's going to be fast, when it's going to be slower. You've got to switch up your way of attacks. Those to me are the biggest thing Wilder needs to work on. Do I think he can get all that within a 6-month time frame? I believe it's possible, but I believe it will be very hard because as much as he needs to learn, Fury is that much further ahead of him, and Fury's never going to stop learning. Fury's already proven that by getting different coaches, by moving around, by expanding his mind, getting more knowledge. He's proven that he's always adapting. He's always learning new skills. He's honing stuff all the time. So with what Wilder needs to learn, Wilder is playing catch up to a man who's not stopping for him to catch up. Tyson Fury's already got a head start in the race, and he's not slowing down. So Wilder's got to do double the work. Yes, it is possible. In the first fight, we saw Wilder could hurt Fury. But that was a much smaller Fury. That was a Fury who had been out the ring, who wasn't used to guys, big men hitting him. Fury's been hit by guys who are 250 plus, heavyweights, throwing heavyweight punches. So now he's less susceptible to get knocked down. He's used to absorbing more damage. And if Fury has built up his tolerance to the point of where Wilder cannot knock him out, where Wilder can't hurt him, then again, Wilder has got to hone in on tap, 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 hit, tap, 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 hit. He's got to break him down because one punch isn't going to do it anymore. That's how I see Wilder needing to train. That's what I see him needing to do. To me, the most important thing is him wrestling with somebody, him putting on strength, not so much weight unless it's in his legs, but strength. He really needs to strength train and learn how to create space with that touch. Thank y'all for watching. Let me know what y'all think. If y'all think I need to go more into detail, I will. We'll make this a multiple part series, but I don't want to have just one 8-hour long video. So if this needs more breakdowns, or if I need to get more technical with each subject within this, then let me know, y'all, and we can do that. But again, to close out, if they do have a rematch within the 6 months, do I feel Deontay Wilder can win? I feel it is highly unlikely, and I heart, mind, body, and soul believes that Fury beats him even worse the next time around, unless Deontay Wilder can really do what I said he needs to do. And again, it's highly unlikely. Every day Fury is getting stronger. Every day Fury's getting used to being 270 plus, and we don't even know if he's going to be able to carry more weight because he's 6'9". 273 sounds like a lot, but it's really not for 6'9". He could put on a lot. So again, thank y'all for watching. Let me know what y'all think, and let me know if this should turn into a series or more breakdowns. There's really not too much more to say. I might have forgot a couple of things. If I did, let me know. Oh, and before I go, I know I got a lot of thumbs downs. So to counterbalance that, I'm going to need a lot of thumbs up. If you like this, please give the video a thumb up. And if you really liked it, go ahead and subscribe to the channel because that's what helps me out the most, especially after I lost so many subs from making a video that my regulars didn't like. The first time I've ever made a video they didn't like, jump ship. Imagine that. So if you liked it, sub to the channel. Thank y'all again.